Hey guys, welcome to Standards by the Dozen. This is number 10, and today we are talking about Song for My Father. This is a classic Horace Silver tune, and we're going to start, obviously, with our lead sheet first. At the end of the song, or I should say at the beginning of the song and at the end of the song, rather, when you see that F minor, it's a pretty strong indication that what? It's in the key of F minor, right? So, and that's what's going on here. So, in terms of improvisation, obviously we're not there yet, but if you want to start thinking about that F natural minor scale or the F or the A flat major scale, that's going to be where you're going to be spending a lot of time. Now, if you wanted to, you could always start by just practicing that scale. Never a bad idea to do that. Fingering in the left hand, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Fingering in the right hand, same as C major, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's actually the same as your F major scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cross under, 1, 2, 3, 4. So. Okay, all right, so a couple of things to notice on the shells. Number one, the rhythm on the shells in the left hand is just written out as just plain old whole notes, okay? It's written out that way because, you know, as I've said before in the previous shells sections, you can do whatever rhythm you want, all right? So I don't want to clutter up the rhythm of the left hand on the shells because it's really, this is where you start to add whatever rhythm you want to add. You could do it just as whole notes like that, okay? But I would try adding in a little rhythm like you heard me do when I just played it. The other thing to notice is that sometimes, like you see like on the D flat 7 or the C, like it might be a little too low there. So what did I do? I changed it into a root 5. Does that mean that the root 7 doesn't work? No, you can still play the root 7. It's fine. It's just you get to decide again, you know, how much you want to change this. And if that's too tense for you, then change the voicing into just a plain old root 5 voicing. If you want a little more oomph, add the octave in there as well. Okay. The other thing is, notice how I'm doing this, that little ghost note in there with the fifth. Like adding in that fifth in there adds a nice little, you know, some change of the characteristics of the shell, right? I'm not just playing the root 7, I'm also adding in the fifth in there and creating a little bit of, you know, motion in that left hand, okay? So let's just go through it nice and slow. Able to like now start to use those shells as a, you know, kind of like a springboard for the rest of my arrangement. Okay, so that's the first thing. The other thing is, big thing about this tune is articulation, okay? Your articulation, you want to try to get that as clean as possible, right? If it's, right, if it's sloppy like that, it's just not going to sound all that good. So, you really want to focus some attention on that first line of music to make sure that you're really trying to get that line as crisp as possible. Not, right? If you're just trying to get through the line as fast as possible versus as clean as possible, you're going to notice that it's just not going to sound as good. Okay, so now let's move on to the bass line. All right, so the bass line, let me just go ahead and I'm going to play it for you first of all. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I am going to put on the iReal Pro track. I am going to pull out the bass. I am just going to play along with the drums only. All right, let me get the sheet music in front of me here. Here we go. Whoops, you know what? I'm also going to play this just a little bit slower. I'll bring that down to the 110 again. here. Okay, so the let me load up the sheet music so you can see what we're doing here. Everything is pretty much chord voicing wise stuff that we have dealt with, you know, up to this point. So no really brand new chords to speak of. All right, so let's take it line by line. Typical F minor 7 chord right there. Again, feel free to interpret the rhythm. Okay, you can play the rhythm that's here. The rhythm actually is not all that bad. There's some nice syncopation in there. You'll notice the first time I went through, I kind of played it pretty much as is. The second time through, I kind of messed around with the rhythm a little bit. So F minor 7, there's your chord. We're just going to focus on just our left hand for right now. Okay, so there's our F minor 7 chord, our E flat 7. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then is the next measure down here. Now on the D flat 7, why did I do this shell down here? Because to put a rootless chord in there, it's like the melody's right there. I can't do a D flat 7 down there. That's going to sound terrible. I can do a root 5. I did the root 7, and then I hit that again, and then resolve down to my C. I could play the 7th down there. I decided to go for the 5th, and I went down to the 3rd, even though it says a C7 sus4, because I'm resolving it as just a plain old C7, and then once I come up here, this voicing brings in the sus4. Okay, so here's my C7 with my sus4. Notice I could throw the 13th in there if I wanted to, for a little bit more, you know, a little bit more bite. So right in here, if I want that 13th in there, I could change that. I did more like a regular. All right, so very first at the beginning here, you see in the left hand, we're playing, you know, basically a modified rootless chord voicing, right? So rather than playing the G up here, playing the G down there, and then the right hand, playing chordal starting on the 9th. So great sound right there. Again, each one of these chord voicings, you could literally take each one of these chord voicings, just take that little snippet out right there and really do a deep dive and try running this around the, you know, circle of fourths and going through this in all 12 keys, right? So these are some really nice voicings to have in your arsenal. You could also bring that up to the G as well. You could also like kind of bring the D in there as well. Kind of gives it a F minor 6, or do that. But anyway, what's written is this. Now, what's great about this comping lesson as well is that this really gives you the ability to focus on that grab technique and then get that like. Notice how I'm not going. I don't have to do this like, you know, crazy, like bouncing my hands up and down like this. I could keep it all right there, nice and tight. The E flat 7. Rootless chord voicing in the left hand, we already know that. Right hand, same chordal. But this time it's being built on the 3rd of E flat, right? So before we were thinking of this as built on the 9th of F. Now this is being thought of as being built on the 3rd of E flat, which gives me 3, 13, 9. Sorry. 1, 2. And then let's move on down to the D flat 7. Here, adding in that sharp 11 in there, okay? Now again, remember that we do not, let me just pull this out as well. Yeah, getting that other sound in there. This will sound better. A couple of things. Number one, in the lead sheet, I want to show you one thing that is actually different on the recording. So if you listen to Horace Silver play, the band play, this is actually on beat 3. So kind of an interesting thing. This is anticipated here, which is fine. Like the and a 2, it kind of sounds hip to anticipate that. But if you find that that little section right there is causing you any grief at all, just know that you could put it right on beat 3. All right. So and also the performance to take a listen to is this. Right. So it's literally "Song for My Father" is the name of the album. Horace Silver Quintet. Okay. You could find that right on YouTube. Just do a search for "Song for My Father," and it came up right at the very top. I would definitely suggest taking a listen to the song. Always a good idea to actually hear it. All right, so in the improvisation, there's one of the challenges of improvising over a song like this has literally nothing to do with the right hand. The right hand, the notes, the ingredients, the scales, all of that is actually relatively easy to improvise on this song. What's difficult is if you're playing it solo piano and you're trying to improvise while also playing the bass line. And that's really what our focus is going to be on. All of the exercises and information I'm going to give you today, of course, can be applied to a group as well, but I'm really thinking if you're playing this solo piano, how do you keep that kind of bossa nova Latin groove going on while improvising in the right hand? All right, so first of all, let's talk about what can we use scale-wise for our improvisation. I didn't write them out because it's relatively simple and I think you'll be able to get it. All right, so first of all, the first scale that you could use, F blues scale, okay? The F blues scale actually